Well, I know that we all love to go out to eat. And here on the Suncoast, we know taking your kids out to eat can be a trying task for any parent. And one restaurant has actually laid down the law with one of its new policies. It's in the UK. This restaurant, they hand out a note to families of young children, reminding them of safety concerns. The note reads, "We request any customers dining in with young children to keep noise at a reasonable level and to not let children run around the restaurant. It's dangerous as our staff are often walking around with hot food. Additionally, get this, it is inconsiderate to the other diners. In order to look after both our staff and customers, we reserve the right to refuse service." Well, as you can imagine, one family was incredibly offended by this note, saying that their children had never been an issue, and the restaurant said the note was just their policy. What do we think? Do they have the right to give this?
The note should be on the menu or somewhere that it's printed for everybody.
For everyone, so they don't feel singled out. That's a great
right,
point.
because it would be embarrassing. What, you think my children are going to be bad?
Right.
But I am going to be dining with 4 grandchildren from 4 to 9 in a lot of different places. We did it over Christmas, and yeah, for one thing, it's a learning experience for them. They've got to learn to sit still and be quiet in that situation. And they want to chase each other between the chairs and between the servers, and that just can't be allowed. It cannot be allowed.
Okay, we say it can't be allowed, and I have the funniest story. I'll never forget. We were in Northern Virginia, and my nephew, like hyperactive, I think he was 4 at the time. I remember us talking to my sister-in-law. We're hanging out, and I said, "Where's my brother?" And I look up. He's literally chasing my nephew around the outside of the restaurant, trying to catch him. He's like, "Get here, get here, get here." You know, so I think it just becomes difficult to enforce for some children, but I agree with you.
I mean, it is a safety concern, and I think that's what the restaurant's trying to say. I know, you know, my mom raised me to be patient, and if children are acting up, then to be patient with the parents. And you know, I think there's a difference if you're at, say, like a sports pub or an Applebee's or something, as opposed to a 5-star fine dining. Well, then maybe if your children aren't behaving,
but
they
if they're
shouldn't be
disturbing other people, then they have no right to do that.
Yeah,
your space ends here, and you can't go over and disturb somebody else. So that should not be allowed.
But I've also been out with families that are very comfortable, because I have an only child, and they have several, and they're very comfortable. You know, my family
letting everybody run wild.
Yes, because you know, I think it becomes difficult when they're younger and boys and activity. So
well, when there's hot food on trays, I can understand the safety concern, but I also understand. Next, we'll talk about movies and kids at the movie theater, but that's for another day. Coming up next, we've got some graduation party tips from one of our Suncoast party planning experts.